Welcome back, everybody. So it's my pleasure and my honor to introduce one of my mentors that I've always looked up to, a man that needs no introduction, Mr. Steve Blair. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you and great to be here at the Golden Gloves. And I'm really looking forward to this weekend when we have the Hall of Fame inductions because I have a former boxer, Pablito Ramirez, is going to get inducted. So that's the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell us a little bit about Paldito and his accolades and his accomplishments.
Oh my God, this little boy, him and his brothers, his older brother Ruben and him, we all started together at old Ron Lyle's ringside gym on Sheridan and Colfax. And he was 6 years old at the time. Ruben was almost, I think he was like 2 years older. But he came and he trained with us because his dad wanted him to box. So he did everything the big boys did, you know. So we come a long way. And during that career, I had both the brothers win national titles together. And it was a really cool thing because then they got to meet Roy Jones Jr., silver medalist from the 88 Olympics. And from there, it's like he took off.
Well, that's a huge accomplishment for a family to have two brothers at the nationals at that level together.
Yes, it was. And his big brother Ruben was always like his inspiration and his mentor because even on later on when like when he got older in his teens, he stood with me till like after he won the Junior Olympics. And then I had to close because I didn't have a gym anymore. So he went with Hall of Famer Ralph Luna, who I respected as a mentor, as a coach. Because when he was with me with Golden Glove Charities, Old Man Joe was my coach. And when we needed a place to go train after on Lyle's gym trade, Golden Gloves, Old Man Joe took us in. And we had such an awesome team, you know. We're the ones that knocked off Rudy Park. So
There you go.
that was cool. Mark Romero was like, dude, how did you do it? I said, I learned from the best. You guys are the best coaches. You follow, you pick up things, you know, so.
Another Hall of
my
Famer.
mentors. Yep.
Another Hall of Famer.
And
Definitely.
may he rest in peace.
May he rest in-
And old man Joe Garcia too as well.
Definitely. Well, you know, we're gonna have a fantastic Hall of Fame, and Valdito's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. You go way back with that family. You go way back in Colorado boxing, period. As far back as I can remember. You know, what inspired you to get into boxing, Steve?
Well, I really started when I was 10. But when I was little, I was watching TV, and it was in 1964, I'll never forget. And I was watching black and white TV, and they were showing Muhammad Ali. And he just had beaten Sonny Liston. Yeah, it was Sonny Liston. And I was like, wow, because he was talking all this crap, right? And I told my dad, I said, man, how come that man talk so much stuff? He goes, wait till you see him fight. And when I saw him, I was like totally impressed. I said, man, that guy's a big dude. He can float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He stuck to his words. So ever since then, I got inspired. And then when I was 10, I grew up in Westwood. And so St. Anthony's boxing team was there. And another great coach that was there was Frank Ortega. So I used to sneak and go over
Another
there
Hall
and
of
train.
Famer.
Yep. And I used to go sneak and train with him. Until my mom and them found out. So they said, no, you're not going to be boxing, blah, blah, blah. So I waited until like I was 14, 15, then I got back into the ring again with Red Thompson and Robert Thompson and all them. The rest, as I say, is history.
No, yeah, definitely. And now, you know, from you yourself is quite the accomplishment in Colorado to be in the Hall of Fame, and you're a Hall of Famer. You know, I admire what you do for the kids. You're still very much involved in amateur boxing. You do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I've seen it myself, and I'm a witness to it. A lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get to see, and that's one of the things that I've picked up from you, Steve. Yeah, you know, it's a big inspiration. What you do behind the scenes and how much weight you put into to do a lot of stuff that people don't even know about. And if I was to be able to write a book about all the stuff that I've seen you do and the stuff that you have helped me accomplish to give out back to the community is a beautiful thing. And I just want to let everybody know that it's still very well much and alive. There's a lot of mentors out there like yourself that still do a lot of good stuff in the community. Colorado boxing is coming back. We have a fantastic venue. We have a fantastic event. This year's tournament has turned out to be an awesome event, and a lot of that is residue of what all the Hall of Famers before me and my time have done, because you guys have set the bar high, and we have big shoes to fill.
I don't know about all that, but basically, I learned something a lot from like one of my big mentors, which was Jose Suleiman. And when I seen how much that man was giving back, and I said, wow, there's got to be a way that I could give back, because, boxing's a poor man's sport. People don't understand it. They see all these people with millions. But when they start at this level, a lot of these families have to go sell burritos, tamales, just to get their kids to travel. And that was like the Ramirez family. I mean, Lulu and Baldo, man, you talk about families that put everything together.
The sacrifices.
Yeah. Just like you with your family, you guys go out there and we bust butt, and you're doing it for the good of the boxers and the kids because you want to see these kids off the streets. And, basically that was my goal when I became a WBC official. I said, man, I got to give back. And Raylene said, well, and I said, she used to tell me, well, you did coaching for over 30 years for free. I said, yeah, but I want to still be involved because these kids need help. And a lot of these people don't understand that through this program, you can teach these kids the idea about giving back to everybody. And if we could get everybody to do that, we have a nice harmony. And WBC is just giving me a platform, so I don't expect anything from it. If I get accolades, I get them because I've been around for 53 years. But it's the people that helped me get there. They're the ones that helped me, mentored me, chewed my butt. Cousin Muggsy would tell me, hey, cousin, you got it. And I'd listen, even though sometimes I didn't want to listen. But, it's that hard knocks in my family, my father, my mom and dad. Even though they're gone now, I always remember, they always tell me, there's always somebody out there that needs something more than you. Do not ever be a selfish person. So that's why I try to do what I can, with like the WBC Cares and stuff like that. We help people with cancer, boxers, families. We try to go out there and do a lot. And Golden Gloves has helped me do a lot of these shows, especially when we had the gym up there off of 44th. There was some friends of mine, their family had cancer. We do boxing shows for them. And we got the boxers really nice awards. You just recently helped me do an awesome show in tribute to Don Jose, Mr. Alberto Reyes. And the Reyes family came here.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And when you got to meet the people, when people get to see the people that I know on a high level, it's not a game. It's about being real because people respect you and they will come and help you. And you've seen that. And when you're good to people, people are good to you.
And we can't give up on that fight, and we got to keep fighting for unity, keep fighting for for these kids to give them a platform or an outlet in life out of their bubbles in their neighborhoods. Give them an opportunity to conquer the world. And I grew up in a rough neighborhood, and so I know what these kids are going through in those neighborhoods.
And see, it's just like today when you talk to Gil, and Gil was telling it makes me proud when my boxer says, yeah, he called me at 4 o'clock in the morning. But he told me before I could box for him, he said, you have to get back to school, graduate. He goes, no, you're not done yet. You got to get to college. And, people don't understand that. Those were my goals when I used to work with Brotherhood. I said, I want to get as many boxers as I can to finish high school, to go to college. I mean, I used to even do their paperwork for USA Boxing, get those scholarships. The Brotherhood gave them money. I said, you know what? If my kids and Raylene's kids went to college, why can't somebody else? Mm-hmm. And that's what people don't understand. Boxing, there's that 1% that will make that money. You and I, and you as a promoter, have seen all these boxers come and go. Yep. But the bottom line is you want to plant that seed where they can always fall back on education. Like, I met some of the people that used to train, they own businesses. They're successful because of the disciplines of boxing. And people got to understand that. Boxing is a hard sport, but the bottom line is if you train and you do what you're supposed to do, Either you'll succeed or you won't. But the bottom line is you learn that discipline.
Yeah, that foundation.
That foundation will always be there in life when you go to work. And the biggest thing that makes me happy, like you, is when some of my boxers I see they have businesses, like the Ramirez's. They all work with their father. They have their own construction business. The Pulidos have a kitchen. They own a restaurant. They've been in business for years. And then San Miguel, he works he has his own business. All these people have businesses. Reyes, my other former champion boxer, he owns his own business. He's remodeling homes. Pretty soon he'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And he's always telling me, Coach, whatever you need to help you do something, you let me know. So that's like your ace in the back, because one day you're going to go back and tell him, hey, let's do this big old thing for these kids. And you know that.
Yep.
Because the bottom line is my coaches, my mentors, my mother and my father, they were there for me, especially my cousin Muggsy and his wife. I'll never forget them. You know?
Definitely. And so, I've seen you, being a WBC referee. I've seen you in world title fights. I've seen you on TV, but none of those compared to some of the memories of when you're bringing up boxers at the grassroots level. So, what's one of the biggest memories of when you were coming up of a mentor that pointed you in the direction that ultimately has you where you're at?
I could say like Joe Garcia, because he told me, he goes, you know what, Steve? I fought Golden Gloves twice. I was a runner-up. I was like, wow, I never lost. I never knew what it was to lose. I was like 19-0, and then I lost, and I was like, devastated. He goes, well, let's go the back door. Let's go USA Boxing. USABF used to be called back in the day. So he goes, I know there's a training camp. I'm gonna get you to this camp. He goes, get the paperwork, we'll fill it out. So I got to go to training camp. And lo and behold, when I was in training camp, I was in training camp with Pernell Whitaker, Clifford Gray, and I mean all these future Olympians and gold medalists and world champions. And I was like, wow, I'm on this platform. But when you got in the ring and you got in there with them, you say, whoa, wait a minute. These guys are up here. I'm like still here. And and if I could have, there's always that if I could have, but then the bottom line is I was there, I got in the best shape of my life, and I gave it everything I had. And I said, dang, these guys are just gifted, I said, well, I'm gonna learn, and when I start training boxers, because that was in my mind back then, that I know, because I have Old Man Joe that taught me how to box, and then I watched and watched. People don't know about the countless hours of watching boxing to see different styles, how to adapt. And then the biggest thing I got from my cousin Muggsy is I was so mad one of my guys totally beat this guy. He didn't get the decision. So I went over there and he looked at me and goes, what you crying about? I said, why don't you quit your beat? I said, man, that was not right. He goes, you know what? Do something about it. And I said, what? Like what? Become a referee, become a judge. That's the dude that inspired me. So I looked at him, I said, I know I could do better than this, and I'll be fair. I said, that's going to be my thing. I'm going to be fair, and I'm not going to make sure every boxer that gets in there is going to say, man, that referee cared about me.
Most definitely.
And that was like, Muggsy lit that fire, and it's still burning Muggsy. Over, like I was telling you the other day, I have like record of over 501 fights. But because they didn't record back when we had the Wild Wild West before the commission.
Yeah.
So they got like 14 years they didn't record my fights. So that's life. But,
yeah.
But the coolest thing though is, like my biggest thing I always loved was coaching. I came in boxing as a coach and I left as an amateur coach. I got to coach 2 USA boxing teams. I took a Golden Gloves team. We took third in the nation. And I had 28 national champions. And man, but to see just not their championships, but every one of those kids, they're all professors or lawyers, and that policemen, firemen. I mean, I could go down the list that what they're doing in the community. That means more to me than to see it. And then I had one world champion. I worked with Terry Crews, and then I got put in the Hall of Fame with him too.
That's right.
And I was like in shock because I told the lady, I said, well, why are you guys doing this to me? She goes, Steve, we've been following you for a long time. She goes, what you do and everything. And I said, it's just what I love to do. Even Raylene's always telling me, Steve, you know that's your passion. That's your world. And I got a good woman that's backing me. Just like
That's important.
If
That's
you didn't
important.
have your wife backing you, oh my God.
That's important, definitely.
Because, you know, when I was married, my first wife, that didn't happen. But I don't know, that's the thing that's keeping me to where I'm at. I figure that I'm going to do, maybe, I'm 63 now, so maybe 65, 66, I'll think about maybe stepping away from it.
Oh, you ain't gonna step away that young, Steve. We've got too much to accomplish still, man. We still got too much that we got to do, and you're gonna be right there by our side, buddy.
Hey, everybody's seen this, right? You know how they say you pass the torch? There's my torch pass.
I ain't ready to take it on. You ain't going nowhere, Steve.
Well, we got these boys over here. They're going to pick up the slack for us.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Steve, it's an honor and a pleasure, my friend. Like always, I respect you dearly, and we will keep going and doing what we do, and the good will prevail.
Yep. We'll just keep on plodding through because you know what? One thing that people got to understand that when you dedicate this, you say you're doing it for the kids. You got to mean that from the bottom.
You gotta mean it.
You and I, we've talked and we go back with all the crazy stuff. But you're right. There's just that 1% pushing away. And the biggest thing is when you see this kid smile.
That's right.
And that melts your heart.
You
if
know
they
you're doing it
lose,
for the right reasons.
and they know they tried, and you just go tell them, you know what? Today was not your day. There's tomorrow.
That's right.
But thank you very much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you, hermano.
I love you guys. Appreciate it.
Love you too, brother.
Oh, sentimental. Don't make me cry.